of course, my favorite, we're going to talk about bakers. We want to narrow down our cake choices, and it's going to be really hard to do something like this over the phone because, you know, you really can't tell a lot about a baker by a phone interview. So we're just going to go through our list again, and we're going to narrow down a couple more questions. There's a lot of things that we need to know when we're picking our baker. Bakers have so many different varieties of things that they offer that we're going to want to really narrow it down now, not so much by personality, but any information that you may have found on their website so far, especially the design of cake. Let's go back again and look at your priority list and see where the desserts fell on your priority list, because what can happen so often is we're looking at cakes on the internet, and where a cake may have been low on the priority list, now you're looking at those Pinterest accounts and everything else, you're seeing all these beautiful cakes, and you want to move that cake up higher in the priority list. This is a place that I'm going to caution you, if it's not high on your priority list, and it hasn't been very important in the past, this is a place where we can get caught up. You can spend anywhere from $200 on your cake up to $5,000. That's a huge range in between. And you have to remember that this is a place that you can go over budget if you have it in your budget. But if there's some other things that you really want that we're trying to control our budget, maybe you want hair and makeup, maybe you want a photo booth, or maybe you want some extra party favors, this is the place that you have to control your spending then for the cake. I want you to also remember that sometimes instead of just a cake, you can have a dessert buffet that you could either make yourself, have your family chip in, or have the baker provide some items and you can provide some, and it could cut down on your cake budget quite a bit. So when you're calling a cake person, you want to kind of ask them what kind of options they have. Maybe you can have cupcakes, maybe you can have mini cupcakes, maybe they do cake pops, maybe they can provide a few pastry items. So what you really want to do is ask them what their suggestions are for maybe staying in budget when you're talking to your baker. So let's go over some of the questions that you want to ask, and keep in mind that you probably will do a tasting for the cake. You probably do it for all the cakes because it's a good excuse to go try all these delicious desserts. But of course you're probably not going to make your final decisions until you get there, and I just wanted to caution you ahead of time that it is going to be difficult to make your final selections just based on the phone. But here's some questions that we're going to go over on the phone when you go back and do your interview again with your bakers. So of course, do they have your date open? How many weddings do they do a year, and how long have they been in business? Have you done any events at their location? How much is the deposit and when is it due? When is the final payment due? Are there any additional fees that you should be aware of? Now, here's some things to think about. You can have a cake stand. They may have the cake separators and the plates that go in between each tier of the cake. Sometimes some bakers charge you deposit for those and you have to return them. Other bakers don't care if they get them back, so they just include it in the fee. So you're going to want to know about that. Also, do they deliver? Would you believe some don't even deliver and you have to pick up the cake yourself? That's something that you're going to want to be aware of. And how much is the delivery fee? What is the refund policy if they should cancel the order? Also, you want to ask what their specialties are. You may not even be aware of some of the special frostings, some of the special fillings that they have. And again, every baker is so different on the things that they offer. So really ask a lot of questions about what makes them so different from other bakers. And then we're going to get set to do some cake tasting.